All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it is official. It is official that it is out with the old and in with the new. The new era of some great coaches in NFL history. That they are gone. The old school coaches are gone officially, and it look like we got a new era of coaching, man. Welcome to the Sports Talk Show, man. And today we are going to talk about the end of an era of coaching, man. We got all this and more, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Sports Podcast. All right, man. Thank you so much for being here with us on this Saturday afternoon, wherever in the world you are right now. And thank you for choosing the Sports Podcast, your destination for real analysis and opinions on sports. You can follow us on all social media platforms. That is X, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, and you can join our sports group on Facebook. It is called the Real to Sports Group. And ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your TV screens, laptops, pads. Do not do none of that, because ladies and gentlemen, sitting right here, a man we ain't seen in a long, long time, ladies and gentlemen, one of the Real to Sports Podcast greats. Ladies and gentlemen, he represents Ball So Hard University. Yes, sir. Ball So Hard University. They are the two-time Super Bowl champion. Oh, man, they are the number one seed in the AFC, and they are the brand new AFC North Division champions. They are the Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, Mr. Drew to the Game. Drew to the Game is in the building. The power of positivity.
There it is. There it is. Good to see everybody.
Yes, sir. Drew to the Game is in the building. My man. My man. All right, Drew, let's start this thing off, man. We might as well just go ahead and punch him in the mouth with it.
Let's jump into it, man.
Let's do it. Comeback player. Let's start with comeback player of the year. Look like your man, your former quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback and winner in MVP, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is the 2023 comeback player of the year. A lot of people were saying that, it should be Damar Hamlin. It should have been Baker Mayfield, but I think they made the right choice by choosing Joe Flacco. I mean, this guy played with the Jets last year. This guy was 38, 39 years old. And still slinging the ball. He still has that big arm, and he has led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, finishing 11-5. So, I mean, this guy deserves it hands down. But your take on Joe Flacco, the 2023 comeback player of the year?
Joe Flacco, man. I mean, hats off to him. You can't take nothing from him. I mean, the man was doing what most of us are doing weekend in and weekend out. He was sitting on the couch watching the games, and with the circumstances in Cleveland, opportunity presented itself, and he's kept himself in fairly good shape, ready for an opportunity, to help put food on his table and support his family. And he's come out there and his performance has been nothing less than, spectacular for what that team needed him to do. Right situation, right time, right place. And he's what he's asked to do fits his game and his style. Flacco's always had a cannon for an arm.
Yes.
And it seems like it's just like, how far is it going to go? Oh, okay. And then it's like, I mean, that team has gone through so much adversity this year, being another AFC North team. I tend to keep up and follow with the transactions and what's going on, and suffering a horrific injury for their star running back Nick Chubb. With speedy recovery, don't wish injuries on any player. Make prayer, support your family. But I mean, they just gone through hurdle after hurdle. Deshaun Watson, coming back and then going down with his injury, and then just the carousel of quarterbacks and different players. It's tough. It's hard to win any game in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And for a guy that's been on the couch for over half of the season to step right in and not really miss a beat, like, I mean,
right.
Talk to him. He comeback player of the year, absolutely. His last couple spots that he had left before he got to Cleveland, he wasn't getting a lot of burn. He was holding and mentoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shows the type of man, player, and leader he is. He's always been a stand-up guy, and he deserves to be treated as such. But yeah, hats off to Joe Flacco, man. He's
no question. But again, this guy played for your team. He led you to a Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl with this guy. Yeah. With the playing that he's doing now at this age, and I know he's old, but Aaron Rodgers is 40, right? With the emergence of Joe Flacco now, do you see him moving on from Cleveland and becoming a starter somewhere?
I'm not sure if he'll move on from Cleveland and become a starter. I think, as the title of the show, Out with the Old, In with the New, yes. I think he would be the perfect candidate to usher in a younger quarterback and help teach him, help mold him, and like give him guidance, And I don't think Joe is above that. I don't think he would mind doing that as long as he's, providing for his family. I think, there's opportunities out there, and you just never know. Somebody could be in a starting role just like they were this year, and be younger and have all the tools and things of that nature. But if an injury is going to happen, it's going to happen, and you got to have somebody that's going to be able to step in, step up, and lead your team. And Joe Flacco's, he's showing right now that he can lead a team, or lead a group of men to get to where you know what I mean. And and I think it's starting. I think this is just the start of it. I think this is the start of the coaches, carouseling out the old and with the new. Some of these quarterbacks that are a little long in the tooth, they might be asked to go somewhere else and mentor if you want to stay lead. You know what I mean? That names that come to mind, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? I think both of them could go to where, certain situations, just depending on what it is, where a younger quarterback's there, and just help mentor them. There might be hurdles that these young guys aren't getting past. Not everybody's gonna have that breakout rookie year and just keep rolling. You know what I mean? We got it now in a young talent in CJ Stroud. Like,
good point.
A lot of pundits had a little backlash on some of his tests that he took. That they try to separate who's what when they're going through the draft process. But that young man ain't did nothing other than step out on that field and show you I deserve to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He did.
Yeah. Yes, but I think these older quarterbacks, man, these more no disrespect to the more tenured veterans, but these gentlemen have been playing for a while, and sometimes it's time to step to the side and let the young bulls take the lead. But you can help them out and still provide for your family and have a longer career, extending the career. That's all the greats still. Look at how long Tom played.
Good point.
But he had other things on his plate, and that's why he walked away. So
right. I agree with the teaching. If Cleveland was smart, they would keep him. They should keep him if they were smart. They should keep him. But I know they got Deshaun, and I know they spent a lot of money on the guy. Oh, let me hit the live chat real. Mr. Episode, young Mark, got to get the people. Get the people what they want. What's up, bro? What's up, Mr. Episode? Young Mark is in the building. Got him.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got you to the game right here, baby. I got him. Like a, got him like I got him. I got me one. I got him. But yeah, man, Flacco, man, you hit the nail on the head. I agree with you. A Super Bowl winning quarterback, quarterback that plays the game at at this age still at a high level. Why not? It's kind of like what's that? What was it? Jesus, was it Any Given Sunday? When when Jamie Foxx came in, and you got the old man, ready to back him up. It's kind of like that, man. It's a good love story. It's a good love story with those with Joe Flacco coming in like that, but Cleveland better hold on to him.
They better do something. No, that money talk though, so they're gonna want that investment.
Because believe it or not, there you go, bro. There are, and believe it or not, Drew, there's teams out here that's thinking the same way you thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, we're gonna go draft a quarterback, but we're gonna need somebody to develop him. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of teams got quarterback coaches, so this guy could be a hell of a quarterback coach.
Oh yeah.
I mean, God, man. But I think okay. So before we move on to that, Damar Hamlin and Baker Mayfield was the runner ups behind it. I can't see Damar Hamlin. He didn't do anything. I know he just came back after basically coming back to life. He died and he came back. So they say. I know it's a good story, and I try to show the man some sympathy and all the love, but I don't think he deserves comeback player of the year. Baker Mayfield should be right there because look at the season. He's now taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the playoffs, even though that division sucked. But still, it is what it is. And his play on the field is good. So, what do you think about Baker Mayfield and Damar Hamlin being? Well, who do you think? Baker Mayfield over Damar or Damar over Baker?
I have to follow up with you. The story feels good. It looks good for Damar, but as we all know, NFL is a what have you done for me lately league, and I mean, on the field that is. Now off the field, Damar he's doing wonderful.
Absolutely.
Glad that young man is still here with us. I'm glad he's made a full recovery. And sometimes I think some things get overshadowed. Like it's always important to slow down, stop, smell the roses, and keep the main thing.
Absolutely.
That young man lost his life on the field, as reports follow, and then they had to bring him back. And now he's bringing this awareness. It helped bring awareness to not only sports arenas, but just people in general across the country and across the world. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great feel-good story, but I don't think it fits the lane or the criteria for checking all the boxes for comeback player of the year. Mm-hmm. Baker, I can see why they got him in that category. I mean, but it's not like I don't know. I think any given situation can help dictate the rise or decline of your career. And that's, if you put somebody in the right situation at the right time, i.e. Joe Flacco, then he's going to shine. If you put somebody in the wrong situation where their talents can't shine or blossom, I mean, look at Dalvin Cook, he came back from a shoulder injury, but he never got the opportunity to play. And speaking of that, he was in a running backs room with a guy that I think that should have got more votes, and Breece Hall. He had a rough injury last year. He did. As a rookie, and he came back and has been nothing short of spectacular this year.
That is a fact.
I mean, he from the kickoff, week one, bell cow, and it was like Delvin was like, "Oh no, coach, am I gonna get in here?" You know what I mean? You'd think that he would have got more time, but Dalvin just didn't get that opportunity, so he had to move on. And Baker's had a great year. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the National Football League. He doesn't always get just credit for his due or whatever. But he's come in with a different attitude this year.
Yes, he has.
Cleveland, going to Carolina, going out west to LA.
Yeah, true.
On that short notice.
Good point.
It shows to the grit and character of that guy, and then come back with his head down this year and say, "I'm just gonna get to work." He put forth a great body of work. I mean, I think it's good, but I mean, if it's just gonna be graded on adversity, I think it would more or less lean to Baker's way. But somebody that's sitting on the couch like us, like
you ain't lying, boy. You ain't lying.
and the expectations, I think, also propelled Joe Flacco into this comeback player of the year, because the AFC is rough. The AFC North is a monster, and it's a lot. And then you look at the AFC South. It wasn't one of the league's stronger divisions this year. So, and then sometimes where you at can, affect why you don't get the sales. Some markets are bigger than others. And for whatever reason, right now Tampa and the South doesn't have the same market as like the AFC North or the NFC East. And I ain't gonna do that to you, Philly D and Wall Street. I know what y'all. I could have said, but I ain't gonna say it. Shout out to
AFC Least, you said it.
Gonna do it.
Get it on.
Look, I keep the power of positivity on the air.
I feel you, bro.
I can't break character.
I feel you.
I mean, I think Baker. Hats off to him. Great job this year. But Joe, man, cool Joe.
Cool Joe. See, a lot of people with this award. Well, I'm gonna put Mark. Mark says Hamlin is the betting favorite as of today, winning comeback player of the year. Okay, Mark. Now this is okay, and I agree. I kind of agree with Mark's saying, but here it is right here. This is just me, my perspective. You're going on a sympathy. You're choosing him because of sympathy. Exactly. That right there was something that, I mean, I ain't gonna say nature, but it's something that we just couldn't control. I mean, he passed out. He passed away for a second or two or whatever. But before that, we didn't know who DeMar Hamlin was. I didn't, to be honest with you. I didn't know who he was. So when you say comeback player, what it defines is kind of like the NBA most improved player or comeback player. It's what you do on the court. Like if you averaged 2.5 points per game last season, and then all of a sudden you scoring 17 points, all of a sudden that is a comeback. To that, I think that's what the award signifies. I think that's why Joe Flacco got it. This guy went from the Jets to now leading a team like the Cleveland Browns, who lost their starting quarterback, to the playoffs. That's why it says come back, because and like Drew to the Game said, this guy was just sitting on the couch a few months ago. He was just sitting on the couch. Now all of a sudden he was called up. Bam! Cleveland needed him. He called up. Boom! He led them straight to the playoffs. So I think the award signifies what he's done on the field, rather than DeMar Hamlin is more of a sympathy, because DeMar is back now, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't even hardly played.
He hadn't been active for a lot of games either.
No, none at all. So I don't think that award would be fitting unless they just say, okay, most sympathy or giving the Walter Payton Award or something sympathy, something, because like you said, Drew, he's doing more off the field than he's doing on the field.
Yeah. Now you put DeMar Hamlin on the Walter Payton Man of the Year thing. I think he's going to be above and beyond a lot.
Yeah, exactly, because he's touched a lot of people for the situation that he went through, and he's made a lot of people believe. His charities is through the roof right now. But as far as NFL comeback player, I think that's more what people has done on. That's why Baker Mayfield was in that equation because Baker Mayfield, again, like Drew said, this guy went from Carolina to the Rams, now, leading and starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and leading them into the playoffs. That's major, especially from Tampa, just coming off Tom Brady. They're just coming off Tom Brady. So, I think it's more of a sympathy thing.
And then to keep it in perspective with that, he said, what did he say? He said DeMar Hamlin was the leading favorite, betting favorite for all those that wager for the comeback player of the year. With that being the sympathy vote, that's why I was saying, not a pun at DeMar Hamlin for the heartbeat, but that if he's the betting favorite, you're betting with your heart.
Yeah.
And if you're a wagering person, you shouldn't really bet with your heart. You need to. It's more the eye test.
Yeah, it's more analytic than anything now. But again, you should have some kind of award because again, I mean, and we're not here bashing DeMar. No, we're not doing that. And we thank Almighty God for allowing him to be here. We all pray for the man. And boom, look at him now. But I hate to sound like a crude arsehole or anything, but I mean, it's just not enough. It's not enough. Now, if he came back and got 5 interceptions, like 2 pick sixes or whatever, even though his team is in the playoffs, but him alone, if him alone would have got interceptions and fumbles and touchdowns and stuff like that, then yeah, because that's what he's doing on the field. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing on the field. That's just me. And I think that's what the NFL, that's why they made Joe Flacco the guy for it. So, yeah. But again, man, shout out to Joe Flacco, man. Old man, he calls Cool Joe. Old man still out there throwing that ball, baby. Throwing that ball.
Practicing with his kids and stuff.
Word, still throwing that ball, baby.
He came out there like one of them old battleships. You're like, let's get back on.
Cadillac.
Yeah.
Old Cadillac, man. All right, man. The title of this show, man, is "End of an Era," and boy, we had some end of an era. Let's go to the NFC West, Drew. Pete Carroll. Lord have mercy. Long-time Seattle Seahawks coach. Pete Carroll is out as Seahawks head coach after 14 seasons but he is remaining the team advisor. The coach who led the Seattle Seahawks to the only Super Bowl title in franchise history will no longer patrol the sidelines with gum-chewing favor. Pete Carroll is out as the Seahawks head coach after 14 seasons. The team later confirmed the news, adding that Carroll will remain with the organization as an advisor. After thoughtful meetings and careful consideration for the best interests of the franchise, we have agreed that Pete Carroll with that role will evolve from head coach to remain with the organization as an advisor. And this is coming from owner Jody Allen, said in a statement on Wednesday. Pete, I'll say this and I quote, Pete is the winningest coach in Seahawks history, brought the city its first Super Bowl title, and created a tremendous impact over the past 14 years on the field and in the community. His expertise in leadership and building a championship culture will continue as an integral part of the organization moving forward. Pete will always be a beloved member of the Seahawks family. Due to the game, Pete Carroll, 14 seasons, gone. This was a shocker. I didn't see it coming. Did not see it coming, especially with the Seahawks 9-8 having a winning season. But Seattle has decided to move on after 14 seasons with Pete Carroll. Your thoughts on it?
I think it was the right decision. I thought it was time. I thought it was time when they shipped Russell out. But then Geno ended up having that great year. That's a comeback story right there. Last year, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Guy was almost forgotten about, and then he just erupted onto the scene. And I think at that point in time, right when they shipped out Russell, it was like, well, is it a Russell issue or is it a Pete Carroll issue?
Facts.
What's going on?
Facts.
Where and then you look at their track record, and after the Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, like they just could never get back on track. And sometimes the message that coaches can deliver can get stale, and that's why I think a lot of these owners are starting to transition out of that older mentality of,
Yes.
you know what, he's been here the whole time. This is, it's, if you're not being productive, and we're not, everybody's going to go through adversity on a team, but if you're not getting us to where we need to go, and you're not bridging, each year into, what did they say? Adding on wins, we're gonna build on this. I forget the word they use, but but anyway, you got to keep adding on and keep it adding on. But if you start regressing and taking steps back, then that's why you got, hey, pump the brakes. What are we doing wrong? Why aren't we getting the results that we're expecting?
Right.
Like this might be something we need to do. I think that Pete Carroll there on as an advisory role is great.
Right.
Kind of the same thing with when Coughlin left the Giants, or when he went to Jacksonville. They said, you know what, let's put him in an advisory role. Football acumen is through the roof. But sometimes you just can't relate with the message. So you got to shake it up a little bit. And usually it's the coaches that are going to be the first ones to go over the draft picks that they've invested in.
Right.
So I think with Pete Carroll, historic career, college and pros, great guy. Never knew him or met him, but I think his body of work for head coaching speaks for itself. But I'm pretty sure it was time. I think the Seattle Seahawks made the right move. I mean, it's you have to be able to relate. You can look at any team in the league with that. Somebody at the head office might be older. They don't always relate with some of these younger guys.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you have to look. For example, look at GM was John Lynch.
Lynch.
He got a younger coach, and they relate with all of those players. And you want to help build a culture going forward. You don't want too much controversy going back and forth, and especially if you're not being productive. And you can take any number of teams and look at the owner, look at the GM, look at the results you're getting on the field, and find the disconnect. They all got something daggone near in common. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, great career. But I think it was time for Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I think so too. And the reason why it's so hard, because a guy like Pete Carroll is so loved. He's so loved and so respected that you can't look. Everything is not going to last forever. And we as customers, when we think Seattle, we think Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, the Legion of Boom, Marshawn Lynch. That's what we think. Now, older fans will think Dave Craig, Bosworth, Steve Largent, Chris Warren, those guys like that. But in the Holmgren, Sean Alexander, things like of that nature. But really, when you think about Seattle, is Legion of Boom, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has brought so much. What I want to say, he's brought so much enthusiastic to the Seattle culture. Again, as I read, he brought them to a Super Bowl, their very first Super Bowl. He won the first Super Bowl, and he brought excitement. He brought that winning mentality over to Seattle. This guy is one of the few coaches to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. And he really put USC on the map. USC was a powerhouse in college football. They was a powerhouse, and he's what? He'll be 73 years old. 73 years old this year, and the guy looks in phenomenal shape. I seen if you guys seen him, he was throwing a football or something. He was running plays,
running out there.
I said, "Oh, Pete,
he was rolling out."
I'm like, "Oh, snap! Look at Pete. Pete do better than I do."
He was rolling out the pocket. Yeah,
people were doing better. I can't play football with Jack. Now, I can do the X's and O's, but I can't play football. But Pete Carroll's out there doing his thing, bro. And but to see a guy go like that, man, it's kind of a, it just I'm not a Seahawks fan. I don't even know. I know. Wait a minute. I do know one. I'm Fayetteville, but he's a Seahawks fan. But it's kind of a sad thing, man, because the guy's so loved. Richard Sherman did. He talked about it, and he was really heartfelt about it. They had a big, gathering. Doug Baldwin, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner. Russ flew out. And that was good to know that Russell Wilson flew out to let you know there wasn't really no love lost between the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll, and Russell Wilson. They all got together and they said Pete was doing jokes or whatever, and they reminisced, and that guy's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yep,
he's a coach, and he's a coach among men. A respectable guy, and man, you know what, Drew? I can't see him. I can't see him as an advisor for the Seahawks. I see him want to explore somewhere else. Somewhere else. At 72 years old, Drew, I see him want to go to another team. He's probably an advisor right now, but as the off season and the season begins to start, this guy still got the football itch, Drew.
You got to place him somewhere, but yeah, what are you thinking? Maybe like AFC West somewhere?
Chargers. It'd be dangerous.
Anybody else?
Anybody else? Anybody?
Anybody
Anybody
else in the AFC West? As an advisor? Yeah. Or just coaching.
A head coach, man. The guy can coach, man. I think he can still go. Old man Pete Carroll can still coach an NFL team, bro. And I think, oh Jesus, the Chargers, of course, they need a coach. Oh my God. If the Jets wasn't holding on to Robert Salah, sit him there. That's the blaster.
Possibly. I mean, you never know, man.
Somebody hat you?
Hey, baby.
Okay, got you.
That's the queen right there.
The queen.
That's the queen.
How you doing, Miss Queen to the game?
That's it. Queen to the game.
Queen to the game. Hatashi.
Yeah.
The queen to the game. D-Flop.
That's D-Flop.
Little D-Flop. What's up, boy?
He on mom's account. I got it.
Okay. Watching Pops do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mark said, ask Dick Vermeer how hard it is to shake that coaching. Exactly.
I was just thinking about him.
Mark. Go ahead, Drew.
Just thinking about Dick Vermeer.
Yeah. Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead on that.
Yeah, Dick Vermeer, man. He was another one that was in the coaching, and he was always what you call the player's coach.
Yes, sir.
He was a player's coach through and through.
Yes, sir.
And that guy, man, he just everywhere he went, you could tell he was genuine, he was authentic, and he laid it all out there on the line, man. I'm glad he went out on top, when he did go. But Dick Vermeer, man, special coach. Just watching some specials on him, boy. You watch the specials on Dick Vermeer, better have your box of tissue. You know what I mean? That joker, he'll get you.
That's a fact.
Get you ain't paying attention, boy.
That's a fact.
Jump up on you. Yeah, yeah, man.
You know what, Drew? And I know the viewers out there. That's why I'm about to turn my back. I know I'm about to get jumped when I'm about to say this. How about if they were smart? I'm saying this live right here on YouTube on the Real Sports Podcast. But I'm saying this right now. How about Pete Carroll come in and head coach the Carolina Panthers?
That's not a problem. That wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be a problem. That would host. Come on, look back at us, man. That wouldn't be a problem. I don't think it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a problem, man. Yeah. I don't think it'd be a problem.
You know what he would do? You know what he would do though? If that would happen, he would put asses in seats.
Yeah, he would.
I guarantee you.
Yeah,
something Carolina hasn't had in a while.
Yep.
He would bring that. He would put asses in seats, and he would bring that mentality. Let Pete Carroll, let him be head coach. Carolina needs something.
Yeah,
look, I know, Mark. There goes Mark. Why would you wish that on anyone, host? I get that, but Carolina needs a makeover, Mark. And why not start with a guy like that who can still do it at 72?
And rally the troops.
Rally the troops.
Rally the troops.
Pete Carroll is a coach among men.
Motivator.
He's a motivator. He's proved that time and time again. This guy has a national championship and he has a Super Bowl. He had one of the greatest defenses of all time, the Legion of Boom. He had one of the greatest. He has a future Hall of Fame quarterback, Russell Wilson. Future Hall of Fame running back, Marshawn Lynch. Like this guy was this close of winning 2 Super Bowls on one bad decision.
That's like turning down Jimmy Johnson.
Boom. Why not?
You know what
Carolina has nothing to lose, Mark. They had nothing to lose. And if you're trying to save the Carolina Panthers organization, if you're trying to save that, bring in a big name. Something Carolina has not done in years. They have not, and I've been saying this ever since I've been podcasting, Carolina needs to bring a dog. They need to spend money. They have to in order to keep up with the Bucks, the Saints, and the Falcons, because out of those 3 teams, at least they go get a big name. And that's why Carolina is going to continue to stay at the bottom. They haven't been relevant since they got a big name like Cam Newton.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Big names. You got to think big.
You have to.
And there's a lot of big fish out there right now in the sea.
Yes, sir. Why not Pete Carroll? Let him come in. You chose Frank Wright. So why not choose Pete?
Yeah.
And then they looking at Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. You looking at that guy? Yeah, he's young, but he don't know jack squat about being a head coach.
There's another guy that just got released somewhere up in New England. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? If you want asses, if I was the owner of Carolina, I want to make money. I want to draw. Me and Drew to the game. We here in Greensboro, North Carolina, but we're here and we're North Carolinians, and we don't watch Carolina football. Why? Because they're boring. If you want viewers to watch Carolina, bring a guy like Pete Carroll who's going to bring excitement. He's going to bring something to that team. And guess what? Pete Carroll is a guy that players are going to want to play for. Yeah. So if he goes to Carolina, guess what? People are going to be like, damn, Pete Carroll down there. Shoot. Let me get on the phone with my agent and see, can we make something shake in Charlotte?
Right. You got to shake it up. You got to do some fishing.
I'm telling you.
You can't just look on the surface. Oh, this little coach over there who's coordinated it. Sometimes you want something proven to say, hey, I know this guy's sturdy. Let's tune in.
Yes.
The young faces sometimes are good, but like if they ain't got no experience, look at Atlanta. I mean, head coaching, we got a younger guy coming in, and then how did that turn out? Yeah. You know what I mean? How did that turn out?
How did that turn out? You know what
I mean? Go on. It's like shopping, going to a department store. You walk in there, you're not going to buy something on that first rack that you walk right past. You're going to go in the middle. You're going to do some searching. You're going to look at everything. You're going to check everything out.
Yep.
Not just the surface. If you get that surface stuff, then you give it.
I'm trying to tell you. Ric Flair got a quote. Ric Flair got a quote. He says, "Oldest ride, but longest line."
There you go. There you go.
Oldest ride,
Mm-hmm.
but longest line.
That's it.
Pete Carroll still got it, bro. I mean, the guy, he just went 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
With Geno Smith, who's a mediocre quarterback to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he's top 10 or 20. But Geno Smith, he's a mediocre quarterback, and he went 9-8. You know, it wasn't his fault that he went to the playoffs. Just a couple teams won, and Green Bay snuck in there. They had a position or whatever. But they ended up, I mean, it wasn't a losing season for them.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
I'm
just saying.
You are what your record says you are.
You are what you are. Oh man! All right, Drew.
Yeah, buddy.
Next one, man. We got to get to here. Next one, bro. And we both. He's talking about bars. Drew, we both are Crimson Tide fans, but Nick Saban announces his retiring as the Alabama head coach. We're going to pick up on, heads up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pick up on the new head coach this Tuesday. But Nick Saban announces he's retired as the Alabama head coach. The Alabama head coach, Nick Saban, widely regarded to be one of the all-time greats in college football, announced on Wednesday that he's stepping down. Saban is 72 years old. There's something about that number, 72, because Carroll's 72 too. Arrived at a bottom out Crimson Tide program in 2007. Yes, we were terrible. And within a few years had turned it into the winningest program of the 21st century and one of the most successful of all times. I'm going to read that again in case everybody acoustic hearing here is not going on. Alabama, he arrived at a bottom out Crimson Tide program in 2007, and within a few years had turned it into the winningest program of the 21st century and one of the most successful of all time. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
But Alabama had won 6 national championship titles during his tenure and had an astounding record of 201-29, Drew, with 11 of those losses coming in Saban's first 4 seasons. His team finished unbeaten twice, never lost more than 2 games in a season since 2008, Drew, and finished in the AP top 10 every year he's been coach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes, sir.
That's insane. This quote: the University of Alabama has been a very special place to Terry and me, Saban said in a statement. We have enjoyed every minute of our 17 years being the head coach at Alabama, as well as becoming a part of the Tuscaloosa community. It is not just about how many games we won and lost, but it's about the legacy and how we went about it. We always tried to do it the right way. The goal was always to help players create more value for their future. Be the best player they could be and be more successful in life because they were part of the program. Hopefully, we have done that and we will always consider Alabama our home. Drew to the game. Our coach, Nick Saban, arguably, Drew, arguably the greatest college football coach of all time. GOAT has stepped down as our coach. Nick Saban, your thoughts on it?
I mean, first and foremost, tremendous career. He just hats off to him. Hate to see him go, but he has his reasons. And as much as I want to toot Alabama's own horn, and I know there's plenty of other universities in the SEC that are still celebrating the announcement of that retirement. But you still gonna have to face the tide. You know, we're still gonna come and reload. But Nick Saban had a great career. I think it was like 44 number one for first round draft picks. Like, he put out a good product. And for some of y'all a little older, you might remember there was a gentleman by the name of Morris Day. He had a quote in the movie Purple Rain.
Talk about it.
I'm going to break the quote up. He said, I'm going to use the second part, but he said, I want to see something wiggling. I want some perfection. Look, Nick Saban was about perfection. You know what I mean?
Oh, snap. Boy, you broke it back on that one.
I want some perfection. He wanted perfection. And he just, you knew when you stepped on that campus.
Yes, sir.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yes, sir.
If you weren't going to give anything less, if you weren't going to give your 100%,
yes, sir,
complete commitment and dedication to it,
yeah,
the door was going to be open for you.
Yes, sir.
And they'll help walk you out.
Yes, sir.
You know, because he set a standard for himself,
yes,
his program, and that university, and it was a swinging door sometimes, because sometimes, you know, you got to check those egos at the door. You know, a lot of high recruits, 5-star recruits, and things of that nature. But you know, if you think you're bigger than the team, Nick will show you that you're not.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, but that just goes to the type of cloth that he came from, old school. You know, they did things a certain way. You didn't break rank and things of that nature. And unfortunately, we're in a time and age where some of the older traditions and our values aren't as they're frowned upon. You know, some old style of coaching and you know, some unfortunate things like hazing. Those things, they're phasing all stuff out. You know, they're phasing parts of the game out. You know, making the kickoff shorter. They're trying to get rid of that. You know, you can't sneeze on the quarterback. You know,
facts.
With all of these changes, then you got the elephant in the room, roll tide. But the NIL, that's a lot for older coaches to deal with.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
A lot for coaches to deal with. And at 72, you know what I mean? You don't want to burn them wicks too small. You know what I'm saying? If you're a 40-year-old, maybe 50-year-old coach, you can go off for 3-4 hours of sleep and get up and still be back at 72.
Yeah.
Moving a little bit slow. You know what I mean? So personally, selfishly, I hate to see him go. But I understand that his health, you know, he doesn't have health issues, but you got to take into account. I've laid the groundwork.
Yes.
My groundwork speaks for itself.
Yes.
Itself now. Take care. You know what I mean? I mean, that Bear Bryant, right? There's always a time for passing of the torch.
Yeah.
And it's best that a coach and or player knows when to step away rather than the game passing you by and then you're looked at as, well, he didn't know when to fold it. You know what I mean? I mean, he played a good hand and did what he needed to do. And you know, he wrote it the whole way, and just, you know, hats off to him, man. He's helped so many young men, women, just affecting their lives, having great impacts in their lives. You know, some of the guys that were opponents, it may have affected them a little bit different, but they can always say, hey, I played against the Saban coach team. That was no joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, hate to see him go, man. But like, I do agree that it was probably.
It's time. It's time. And it's funny you said that the greats like Bear Bryant and when I was coming up, because I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and majority of my family is Alabama Christian Tide fan. I got some that's Auburn. I don't know why, but they chose Auburn. But I don't know why. But I got majority of my family is Alabama. And when I was a kid, when we stayed in Alabama, that's all we seen. And I got the pleasure of meeting Gene Stallings, who was our coach. And I remember, I think I was like in the 5th grade. and he came to my school, and I seen Gene Stallings. He had I remember like it was yesterday. He was a tall guy, and he had on the blazer with the Alabama patch, the old Alabama patch on it, and not this one, but with the elephant on it. And I remember I looked up, and I said, "Coach Stallings," and he said, "How you doing?" He shook my hand. I got a chance to meet him, but anyway, to put him in Nick Saban in that category, and also not to mention this guy won national championship with LSU. He's a winner. Now he went to the pros and sucked with the Dolphins, but college, you got to put Nick Saban as the greatest of all time. This guy has produced, Drew. He has produced 4 Heisman. 4 Heisman people. 4. I named. You want to know who they are? I got them right here. Mark Ingram,
Devontae, Julio,
Devontae Smith, Bryce Young, and wait a minute, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry,
yeah.
Devontae Smith and Bryce Young.
Did Julio get it? I don't know if Julio got it.
No, Julio didn't get it. And he had great quarterbacks: Mac Jones, AJ McCarron, McElroy. Jesus, who else?
And Amari Cooper, lots of wide.
He had Amari Cooper. Like he had. Holy smoke, man! This guy produced Henry Ruggs. Lover. But anyway, Henry Ruggs. Like, I mean, Will Anderson is in the pro now. D'Amico Ryan.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. He produced so many people, so many greats have came through Alabama and went on at one. And Drew, for years by you being NFL mind yourself, that when it comes draft time, who you see in the top 10?
Alabama.
Alabama.
But for the longest, that's all my Ravens was drafting, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
That's who Drawing Room was drafting. Alabama. We got Leatherwood. We got Henry Ruggs. Like we went there, bro.
We took Marlon Humphrey. You remember Mount Cody?
Mount Cody.
we had a CJ Mosley.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! It's a lot of great players came out of there through that.
Great players, man. Great players,
man, and went on to have successful careers for the most part.
Yeah, man. So I mean, Jesus. Now that's a guy should be an advisor. That's the guy who should really advise the new coach. And again, we're going to go there Tuesday on the new coach. But just to see him step away, and Drew is a Alabama Crimson Tide fan himself. See him step away, we just knew it was time. Even though Alabama still had a winning season, and we knocked off Georgia and killed their 29-game winning streak and won the SEC championship, by the way. But the guy still was winning. But I could tell because my uncle is a big time Alabama fan too. And I told him one time, I said, man, Nick doesn't look right. It just you can see him on the sideline. You can tell he's aging. He's aging a lot, man. It just don't look right for Nick. And boy, I think this year, Drew, and I don't know if you can relate to this. I think this year is the most I've seen him pissed off on the sideline. Because boy, he gave it to Milroe. Boy, he was giving it to him. He was giving it to the team. And when I see him pissed off on the sideline, especially that game against Texas, shout out to Texas. There's some big boys. Texas, they beat us. But seeing that game, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know, bro. Like it just don't. I think it's time for Nick to hang it up. He just didn't look good on the sideline.
Texas was and has been a bad matchup.
Yeah,
for the Crimson Tide, and they gave us fits last year.
They did.
You know what I mean?
Tough.
And
Bryce barely beat him.
Yeah.
Bryce barely beat him.
Fits now.
Yeah.
It gave us fits.
Yeah. Bryce hung us in there, man, because like you said, they gave us fits, man, the past 2 years. They beat us this year. And we would have beat Michigan, man. A bad play calling. Why run it up the gut? On overtime? 4th and goal? Why would you run Milroe?
Now, if Milroe would have did football 101, when he's running to the left sideline, whatever sideline that you're running to, that's the hand the ball should have been in. He had it on the inside. If he didn't have it on the inside and he had it on the outside, he could have stiff armed, right? He could have got that first down or at least kept the ball. And then guess what? We was already up. You put that field goal on the board. That's a 2-score game. There is no overtime.
That's it. There's no overtime, bro.
Mental stuff. And that's other things that Coach Saban shouldn't be coaching that. No. That's automatic. You see somebody coming, switch the hand. You know what I mean? Just
switch the hand, bro.
You see a punch coming with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Gotta switch it up.
That's what I'm saying, Drew. And even that last play on 4th and goal, why in the Sam Hill did you just not pitch it out or at least just try to throw the ball? Because everybody in the world that watched that game know that Miro, who's a big quarterback, 6'3", 6'4", still's a beast. You know he's going to run that ball. Michigan was smart because Michigan knew that the run was coming. And by so happened that Michigan know it, they got another good look on it. The snapper, the ball was snapped low. So when Miro caught the ball, it was low. So he had to catch the ball low, pick it up, and tuck it. And by the time he picked it up, Michigan was already in on him. He had no chance in hell.
For any mobile quarterback, if any coach or team has a mobile quarterback and you're in the 10-yard line, in the 5-yard line, you don't call a daggone design run.
No,
you give the quarterback options, and when those options break down, then let him run.
Yeah, let him throw that shit.
You can't handcuff him. I've seen, and I have a little experience in handcuffing your quarterback. So I just shook my head when that happened. I was like, it don't look good, man.
I'm telling you, man. I said, man.
Tommy Reese.
Yeah. Drew, man, I said after the play, man, I was like, who called this?
Tommy Reese.
Reese called that?
Yeah, fun fact. I think, it was. He's the OC. Fun fact. Before I was a Bama fan, I had an older uncle that I always watched football with, and he had groomed me to be an Irish fan. And so when I was watching the game and I was talking to him, I was like, "Oh, we going to the national championship?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this." I said, "Man, I don't know." He was like, "Man, you gotta be this, you gotta be that." Anyway, long story short, after that, I put Notre Dame on probation. I put them on probation. Because Notre Dame, they weren't. I was disappointed with how they were running a lot of stuff. They had certain coaches that were there, and then I didn't agree with how they did Lou Holtz. I didn't agree with how they did Willingham. Then Alabama National Championship was the straw that broke the back. I said, you know what? I think I took like 3 or 4 years off of cheering for Notre Dame. I didn't even watch football games. Yeah. And I was just watching all the other games. And then every draft come up, I'm like, damn, why does Ozzie Newsome, that's another guy from Clemson.
Ooh, boy, you pulling them out, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Why does Ozzie Newsome keep drafting these guys from Bama? And when I started looking at them, I said, boy, these boys showing out on Sunday. I said, man, Saturday, I got to start watching them more. And that's when I crossed over. I said, later, they ain't showing me what they were supposed to show me. So,
man, bro, I was there when we played in Legion Field, bro, when we had Jay Barker was the quarterback. When we had Derek Lassick was the running back. Antonio Wyndham. Like, boy, I goes back,
ways
son.
back.
Yeah, ways back. I remember when we went to a Bama game in Legion Field. Man, I remember it was cold as hell. It was cold. It was cold, but we was watching it. We was right there in Legion Field, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boy. That's when the Sugar Bowl was the national championship. And it was always played in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Nick Saban, though. Nick Saban, man, again, the greatest college coach to me of all time. I know Jimmy Johnson had his run, but holy hell, I don't think it will never overshadow Nick Saban, man. This guy got
see that again.
Yeah, I don't think we will, bro. 7 national championships, 6 of them with the Alabama Crimson Tide, 1 with the LSU Tigers. Again, man.
19 bowl wins.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. This dude was he's a phenomenal coach. Produced 4 Heisman. Again, man, number one, his accolade, number one. Damn, I just had it. Let me go back to it.
On draft picks.
Number one. I mean, just
draft picks.
Drew, he's 201 in 29. Man. You mean to tell me in 17 years only lost 29 games? Man. 11 of them, 11 came in his first 4 seasons. Now he was there 17 years.
That's crucial. That's crucial.
That's crazy.
If you can't recognize greatness when it's out there, but I just don't know what to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. His first 4, so that means what? 13 years. He was just dominant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
dominant, and he only. It says his teams finished unbeaten twice, and he never lost more than 2 games in a season since 2008.
Rare air. That is rare air. Just rare. Rare
My
air.
gosh, man.
It's,
Nick Saban, you always be missed. Again, man, you brought some great memories and some great times to the University of Alabama, to the city of Tuscaloosa, to the state of Alabama, to
Roll
us.
Tide.
Roll Tide, baby.
Roll
Us
Tide.
fans, man, we appreciate you. We always gonna love you, man. And Roll Tide, as Drew to the Game said, Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. All right, man, I got to pay some bills here, man. We're going to hear from our sponsors. Then we're going to come back because we're going to talk about one last coach that's leaving in the era, and that is Bill Belichick. All right, man, the Real Sports Podcast, we want to thank our sponsors, Van Powers. Van Powers, man, if you are a bike rider, you ride bicycles and stuff like that, man, Van Powers is the place to be, man. Get all your bicycle parts, man. If you're going to get working out for the spring, get that stomach right, get that body right for the spring, man. Van Powers, man, choose Van Powers. Fanatics, we want to thank Fanatics, man. Get your sports paraphernalia, you get hats, jerseys, scarves, socks, anything you want. You can, hey, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, you can pick up a Lamar jersey, just like Drew to the Game got on right now, man. You can pick up a Lamar jersey, courtesy of the Real Sports Podcast on Fanatics. Also, SeatGeek. Tell them, show them, Drew. Get them. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Also, SeatGeek, man. If you're going to a concert, NFL game, you get tickets discounted, man. SeatGeek is the way to go. SeatGeek. Sportsline, man. If you are a better, man, choose Sportsline. Fantasy Sports Evo. Listen, fantasy sports is evolved now into, it's now no longer players, it's about teams. So you can also go to Fantasy Sports Evo and choose, instead of players, choose teams. And don't worry about injuries or anything like that. It will not affect your roster. Fantasy Sports Evo. And Amazon Music. Get 1 month free, courtesy of the Real Sports Podcast. 1 month free on Amazon Music, ad free. Listen to your favorite songs, whether it's 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, Lil Wop de Wop, Lil Hoop de Hoop, or whoever y'all may listen to these days. I don't know, but you can go to Amazon Music. All these links are in the bottom description box, right up under us. All the links, click on them, man, and just sign up, man. And all of those discounts is courtesy of the Real Sports Podcast. All right, man, I'm sitting here again, man, with Ball So Hard University, one of the all-time greats. Drew to the Game is here. He's in the building. My man, Drew to the Game is here with me, and we're gonna talk about the title of this of the theme, or the theme today is the end of an era. So we talked about Nick Saban when we talked about Pete Carroll, but last but not least, we're going to talk about, if not arguably, one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time, and I'm talking about Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the Patriot. Bill Belichick Patriots mutually agreed to part ways after 24 seasons. Bill Belichick and New England Patriots mutually agreed to part ways after 24 seasons. The team has announced the news. Robert Kraft and I, this I quote, Robert Kraft and I, after a series of discussions, have mutually agreed to part ways, Belichick said in media address on Thursday. For me, this is a day of gratitude and celebration. I start with Robert and his family so much. I'm not going to get into what he said about that. I just want to get into his accolades. In 24 seasons in Foxborough, Belichick led the most decorated dynasty in NFL history under his leadership. The Patriots won 6 Super Bowls, tied for the most by a franchise in NFL history with 9 Super Bowl appearances. Belichick has more Super Bowl appearances as a head coach than every franchise save one, the Patriots. 11. He's been to, as a coach, 11 times he's been there. Insane. In the 24 campaigns, New England compiled a 266 and 120 regular season record and won 17 AFC East titles, including 11 straight from 2009 to 2019, the longest streak in NFL history. The 17 division titles are the most ever by any head coach with a single club. That's crazy. Five better than the next closest, which is Hall of Fame great Dallas Cowboy coach Tom Landry. The 71-year-old coach generated 296 total wins with the Patriots, including playoffs, the second most by any head coach with a single franchise in NFL history, behind George Hollis with 300, with the Bears with 324. Coach Belichick, bro. You, the Baltimore Ravens. Now we both, because I'm a Raiders fan, of course, but to go back on it, you had some great wars with the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. At one time, man, the Baltimore Ravens and the Patriots, when you seen them two on TV, you know it's going to go down. You know it's going to go down. I, of course, with the Raiders, the 2001 Tuck Rule crap, whatever. Yeah, we had our share with that, but you had
when it started.
I know, right, Mark. but you had your battles with him a lot, man, from playoffs to regular seasons, man. But Coach Belichick, he is now gone as the New England Patriots head coach. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, again, a storied career. I remember the first time I seen him coaching, he was up in the dog pound, you know.
Cleve.
And they had, who was it? Minifield, Dixon.
Minifield.
Yeah, man. Back then.
Ozzie was there. Ozzie was there.
Man, he just looked so, I don't know, man. That guy, he just stands out, right? Mm-hmm. But he transitioned over to the Patriots after, was it Parcells? Did he succeed? Did he?
Yes.
Yeah. So once he got up there, I was like, well, this is going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he's had a great career. You know, a lot of people. I'm going to leave my personal feelings out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Got to remember the coaches, the players, all these, they're people too. But he was the beneficiary of being at the exact right place, the exact right time, with the exact right player that just, I mean, I've never been a big Bledsoe fan.
Me neither.
But I saw that first drive when Tom came in, and I said, I never saw a lot of other quarterbacks do what he was doing as far as pre-snap. You know, he was calling out the coverage. This here, you here, this there, this there. I was like, what in the world? And then it was like, dart. Oh, snap. I was like, I like this kid. But then, you know, then New England had some other stuff go on to kind of just completely distance myself from even keeping up with him like that. But, I mean, Belichick, great coach, been through a lot. He's coached at every level. I think he was at Bowling Green or Toledo in college.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall. It was, he did well there. It got him into the pros.
He's with the Giants. He's with the Giants defense coordinator. Mm-hmm.
That's right, and that's why probably Tuna put in a word for him. Said, "Look, I'm leaving now. You need to get this guy." You know what I mean?
Ooh, wow, wow.
But again, with the older cloth that was doing their thing, they always usher in that newer, younger blood. I think it's actually past the time for Bill to have moved on. I think it would have been wiser for him to leave once Tom left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after that first year, I'd have been like, you could have retired, but then, I mean, he just so many storied victories, so many quote unquote controversies, Spygate, Deflategate.
Yeah. So much. Tuck rule.
To have the Tuck rule, you know what I mean? And that's above everything else. That the Tuck rule is where it started, and then everything else was just like
take out the T and put an F.
Right.
That's what it was.
Come on.
Take out the T and put an F. That's
Man,
what it was.
And you could tell what I am gonna miss though are those dry responses and post game and post. I'm gonna miss some of that.
Old hoodie.
He would shut some of them reporters up. Was like, when he wanted to get snippy with it, he would get on you. But
it was cold as ice on that.
Yeah,
boy.
He ain't had nothing but ice in them veins, man. But I think Foxborough did something to his veins. But no, all jokes aside, man.
Oh man,
career that we can't rewrite the books. We can't. It is what it is.
It is what
and
it is.
He's a first ballot shoe-in. He
Absolutely.
can walk into Canton tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He could. But to even just I don't know. I'd like to kind of spin it like he's another guy that I think that still has coaching in him, but I think that Mr. Kraft had gotten to his end with it because I think it was Kraft wanted to keep Tom, but Bill wanted to move on from Tom. You know what I mean? So when you start having these heads clashing and he's your head coach, he's your GM, he had a lot on his plate. And he didn't have the golden boy no more.
There you go.
Changed. You know what I mean? Yep. And to see what the golden boy did when he left,
absolutely.
Say, I'm still doing me. You know what I'm saying? Dude,
still.
Either hang it up or you need to go somewhere else and start over. You know what I mean? Like, but I think he would be another guy that would look. I mean, I think people would go to the Carolina Bank of America Stadium and watch because he's there. He's about nonsense, no nonsense, and maybe or Tennessee.
Ooh, good point.
There was a report out there somewhere that I think somebody said they wanted to try to sign him on long enough for him to get his 15 wins.
Yo, Drew, boy, you hit a grand slam. That went deep right center field. That boy, Tennessee, bro. Tennessee, hey. I ain't think about that. That would do some good. He can build that quick.
He could.
I wouldn't let Belichick choose players though.
No,
I'll let him coach, but I won't let him draft. Stay out of that. Leave that alone. But Tennessee would be a good spot, a good landing spot. Holy smoke!
Go ahead. Don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
The last spot that I'd like to see him go if he's going to continue to coach, dude. You're 72, man. You've been in Foxborough. You need to go where some sun is. Take him out to LA. Help out the Chargers. You got a solid or a decent young quarterback.
Yeah.
Bring it. You can bring in a Flacco to help mentor him. You know what I mean? Like that, right? And then you got a young offensive coordinator. He'll probably bring his son or whatever, for some other stuff. But you got some pieces that you can get some wins, but then I know that would be a little. He might have. I don't know how many wins he's going to get against the Silver and Black because I think that head coaching thing is narrowing down real quick.
AP.
But yeah, look, Kansas City is ripe for the plucking. He can get a couple wins there. You know what I mean? Denver's ripe for the plucking because Sean Payton.
Get him. But
Sean Payton might need it. He might need to go after this year. Like, I mean,
yeah,
Payton,
causing too much of an uproar.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been out too long, and he, yeah, you don't. Yeah, I don't like the way he's doing stuff in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, nobody does. Nobody does. It just, I mean, you mess with a guy like Russell Wilson, and pretty much, a guy that he's like a baby face of the NFL. Like, I mean, for him to go off like that, like, damn, man, I don't know, Peyton. You know, it sounds like a little whiny little to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But Coach, oh man, that Tennessee is really getting in my head here. Tennessee, Carolina. Again, when me and Drew are talking about guys like, and we're gonna take out Saban, but Pete Carroll and Belichick, those guys, even though they're in their 70s, the prestige that they have, their name carries weight.
Yes.
And players want to play with him. Bill Belichick hasn't won a Super Bowl since, 2018, 2019, when they beat the Rams? Okay, it was a boring Super Bowl, by the way, more defensively. But your name, even though you haven't won a Super Bowl in, 5-6 years, you still got those 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe under scrutiny and whatever case may be, but they're there. Like Drew said, we cannot rewrite history. It's over. It's done. So in that same sentence, that guy carries weight. He goes to Carolina. Guess what? People gonna want to follow.
Yeah.
It may not be the whole NFL, but somebody gonna follow. A big name gonna follow. Okay, Pete Carroll go to Carolina. Somebody gonna follow. Let me tell you the players gonna follow, and the media is gonna follow.
Ooh, look, I heard a rumbling the other day, aside from Belichick, but like you just said, to follow up on your point, people will follow some of these coaches. I heard and there's a team in Texas that said if their defensive coordinator went somewhere, you never know. I might have to follow. You never.
Dan Quinn, Michael Parsons said it. Did he say it? Yeah, he said, you know what I'm saying? Your name carries weight. Your name carries weight, bro.
Man, that I know that had a whole bunch of hearts up in folks' throats.
That's why Dallas has to win tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they lose to Green Bay, boy,
man,
boy, everybody's going for Mike McCarthy now, but I'm guaranteeing you, bro, the Cowboy fans are gonna exile this dude.
now Mike McCarthy's not as old, but he's been around.
He's been around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been around. He's up there. He kind of up there with Tomlin, right? As far as coach, not or a little bit after, was he?
I want to say, Tomlin right now is the most tenured.
Yeah, he's the most tenured.
And then
your boy, and then Harbaugh.
Yeah, and then Harbaugh.
Yeah. 17 and 16, right? Because Harbaugh been there 16 years.
I think I want to say it was like 17 and 16 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's great. And then you'll hear the same rumblings next year about Andy Reid, depending on how the season goes.
Oh, good point.
Because he's a little older too, but if he's producing and he's not causing a stir, it might last a lot longer. You know what I mean? But I'm sure y'all would love to see him hang it up. Address some family things he's got going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I mean, Belichick, he's a headline. He's a headline. And if you're in business, you always want a headline in some shape or fashion. You know what I mean? He's that guy. I mean, you can't really deny him as much as we'd like to pick apart some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, who would have? If the call would have been made correctly the first time, and I'm one that sides on your opinion. I think that was a fumble. It was a fumble.
Just Tom Brady himself said it.
Like the Dez catch was a catch. You know what I'm saying?
That was a catch, bro.
The course of stuff.
Yeah, Green Bay they screwed Dallas. Dez caught that ball.
Yeah.
He caught the ball.
See, we try to bring positivity to everybody. We're not all about our own.
Yeah, no. We not all about our own. And before I wrap this up, Drew, you said that Belichick can coach the Titans.
Yes.
See, we both agree that Belichick and Carroll can both still do this thing at their age.
Yes.
At their age, which is crazy. I think Belichick could linger down and be a defensive coordinator. I don't think he's a coach like how Carroll is. Carroll is more of a coach of men. Belichick is more of a X's and O's, do as I say type dude. But that era is over with because nowadays players are doing what the hell they want to do. They're going rogue. Jair Alexander choosing himself to be captain. And then we even got Max Crosby saying that, hell, if y'all don't choose AP, I'm walking.
Yeah.
Devontae said the same thing too. Like players are starting to talk and speak up for themselves. So now, I mean,
and they have every right, man. I mean, they're putting their bodies out there on the line. Their voices should and need to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. I'm glad players are sticking up. Just don't stick up too much. Don't start a goddamn riot. But it's good to for them to do that. And I would like to see Belichick maybe become a coordinator or something like that. Head coach, I can't see it. Because you can't. He's going to try to bring that Patriot way into another organization. Shit is not going to work. McDaniels tried that with us, and it didn't work. That Patriot way in that era, it lasted for how it lasted, and that's it. It will no longer fit on any 32 NFL teams, not even the Carolina Panthers. It would not fit. You have to go with the new now.
It didn't work for anybody that was under Belichick coaching when they went off to other places.
There you go.
And this is why sometimes people just need to stop.
Yeah.
And smell the roses. the grass ain't always green on the other side. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, stop and smell the
But then you can't tell folks, like, they want to go get their bag. Go get your money. I feel you.
Go get the money.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. Go get your money.
Go get the money. Go get the money.
Push. I know a little something about that, yo. I know a little something about it. I know a little something about it, man.
Yeah.
Let me bring this back. But again, man, hey, out with the old and in with the new. Out with the old and in with the damn new.
That's it.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right, man. That is it for NFL Talk, man. Oh my goodness gracious. What a show. I feel good, man. I got my man Drew to the game back. But y'all know the saying, man. That's our show for today. As always, we want to thank you for watching another episode of the Real Sports Talk Show, man. Please remember, if you don't remember anything else, please remember to give us a thumbs up, man. We po folks around here. Give us a thumbs up, man. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. Because guess what? When you do that, you're going to see us each and every week right here on YouTube, every Tuesday and every Saturday. Again, I got Bo So Hard University here. It's an honor for him to be back here, man. Due to the game, my man. Give him what he got.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. Please. Hit the link in the description below. Save your money, get some discounts.
Tell them, Drew.
Here for you.
Yes, sir.
Stopping by, man.
Yes, sir. My man, the power of positivity. Power of positivity is back. And it's good to see him. It's good to see him in the building. I wish all the fellas was here, man. They always ask about the man. Hey, he's here now. But guess what, man? It ain't over for Drew because he will be back one day. I'm trying to tell you, he will be back. The beat goes on, baby, as the whispers say. The beat goes on.
And the beat goes
on. Let's go, baby. All right, man. We'll be back in the building, though. We will be back. And the beat goes on because we will be back in the building this Tuesday, man. We will talk about the resigning of former New York Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale and the new coach of the New England Patriots and the Alabama. They got a new head coach as well, man. And we're going to definitely have sports to talk about. So, again, man, come on back this Tuesday night right here at 7 p.m. right here on the Real to Sports podcast. And shout out to all the podcast panel members, man. Shout out to in their absence, the Maverick, Philly G, the Dog, Q Dog, Mr. Episode, Young Mark, and the 2023 Real to Sports podcast MVP, Deuce. Shout out to all the podcast panel members, man. And again, man, I am grateful to have Drew to the Game right here talking sports with us, man. Drew to the Game. That's my man right there. I don't care what nobody say about him. That's my man right there. All right, man. You know the saying, man. Believe in your team as always. Believe in your team, man. Most importantly, believe in yourself. You can do any and everything, man. Just work hard at it. And everybody around the world, be safe and stay safe. Me and Drew to the Game. We out. Down.